Introducing LSU Hall of Famer, Torres.
Go.
Manny, remember our karate videos?
Go.
Torres was the 1987 NCAA national champion in the 100-yard breaststroke, and he earned in his career a total of 14 All-America honors in 5 different events. The native of Puerto Rico was a 4-time SEC individual champion, and he led the Tigers to the 1988 SEC Men's Swimming and Diving Team title. Following his LSU career, he competed in the 1992 and 1996 Olympic Games for Puerto Rico, and he earned silver medals at the Pan American Games and at the World University Games. He's still an active swimmer and currently holds the U.S. Masters national record in the 100 breaststroke. Please welcome to the LSU Athletic Hall of Fame, Torres.
Todd is with us tonight from his home in Greenville, North Carolina, and presenting Todd with a Hall of Fame plaque as LSU swimming coach David Jones.
I was really hoping they were not going to show the Speedo pictures up there. As Coach Stovall mentioned earlier, this is a shared honor. It's an honor, a privilege, and a humbling experience. To be honored with all of these great athletes, it's just amazing. It's incredible. I would like to recognize some of those individuals that are responsible for my success. Assistant Coach Eddie Sinnott, Rick Metter, and of course my head coach Sam Freeze. I remember 30 years ago as a freshman traveling around the country swimming against some of those 5 universities that I visited. And we weren't winning. We had some great swims, some good swim meets, but we just weren't winning those meets. So as we're walking through the airport, Coach Sam Freeze comes up to me and says, "Do you think you made the right decision? Is this where you should have swum?" And I looked at him and I was surprised. I couldn't believe that he mentioned that to me because I was an LSU Tiger. And I just looked at him and said, "Sam, this is the place for me." So later that year, he must have known something that we didn't know. During swim practice, at swim meets, anytime he saw me, he would just look at me and give me the #1 sign. And I was thinking, why is he looking at me? You know, every time I got in the pool, got out of the pool, Coach Freeze is just looking at me going like this. And he wouldn't stop until I turned around and gave the #1 sign. So we didn't have cell phones back then, or laptops. So I didn't know that I was ranked #1 in the country. I was an 18-year-old going to all these swim meets, fighting for our team to win, not knowing that I was swimming the fastest times in the country. So as a freshman, winning NC2As, I was really surprised. I remember calling my parents that night saying, "Mom, I won." And she said, "What?" "Todd, are you serious?" And she couldn't believe it because she just had heard throughout the year You know, I was swimming okay, my times were getting faster, but as a team, and that's what we cared about, as a team, we just weren't doing it yet. But those times changed. We won SECs, and our program really became a great program that I'm proud to be a part of. Also, I'd like to thank some of the swimmers that really were mostly the reason that I was successful. Neil Harper, first Olympian that I ever trained with, was just a great team leader, very supportive. It was like a big brother. He was always there pushing us, giving us advice, and just really helped us get through that season. But someone else that I'd like to thank is sitting at table 7, Andy Diker. I get asked more than any other question living in North Carolina. You know, why did you choose LSU? What was your deciding factor? And to be honest, the reason I came to LSU is that man over there, Andy Diker. So, as a high school swimmer, I didn't want to go to the #1 program in the country. I didn't want to go swim for someone that was already successful. I wanted to go somewhere where I could make a difference and train with the best swimmers in the country. So Andy Diker, as a freshman, was one of the top 5 swimmers in the country, and that's where I wanted to go. I wanted to race someone every day, have someone push me in practice, in the weight room, on the track. And he did that. We were pushing each other every single day. And he pushed me to be successful, and I think I pushed him as well. That freshman year of mine, when I won NC2As, Andy reminded me tonight, he was seated first after prelims. He was the fastest breaststroker in the country after prelims. So Andy seated first, I was seated second, and we had a great race that night. A great finish. Andy was 3rd place.
Thanks, Todd.
But I thank you, Andy. That was a great motivation, great season, and you really pushed me throughout my career.
Thank you, brother.
And lastly, but definitely not least, my parents. They're also seated at table 7. They were my biggest fans. Like everyone else's parents, they drove me around. We trained year-round. Morning practice before school, afternoon practice. My mom was my biggest fan. She never complained, she never pressured us, but she supported us. And I want to thank my mom and dad for everything they did. It's been an honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Todd. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attentions to the big screens for Sylvia Fowler.
Greetings, everyone from Minnesota. Sorry I can't be there with you guys this evening. Unfortunately, we have a game that's very important tonight that we need to win to help clinch home court advantage. To LSU and all the people behind the scenes for making this induction possible.